SBTV.
Friday Feeling.
Yo, SBTV, this is my producer's house and welcome. Say hi, Coco. Hiya. Say hiya. Yeah, that's it, word. So this is our house, isn't it, Coco? And we're going to show you our studio and we're going to move around, aren't we? So welcome to my house, let me show you around. This is my creative think tank. 30 years I've been doing art and music in terms of like art really, which is the same thing for me. I was 17 years old when I started looking at graffiti and going to New York and kind of learned it from the ground up really, which is right into the deep end. South Bronx, Bronx River. It takes me way back, you know. But yeah, 20 years it's for music. I mean, it obviously just evolved into music, kind of accident really, a big kind of accident. How I kind of got into it, but you know, music's my life. Art's my life. It just is the same thing for me. I mean, even from doing like Sly and Robbie and Crazy Ballhead and Hand of the Dead Body, Ice Cube and Bjork to Bush to so many things that I've done with many different engineers along the way, and I think that's the difference. A lot of kind of producers are kind of engineers by trade really, and I'm kind of that old school Nelly Hooper group of people that really kind of do music soundsically through different people, and I think that's probably what my greatest gift has been, was kind of having the vision and to be able to do arrangement, because I think arrangement's the key. No matter how much software you try and cover it up with, or not, no matter how much, you know, loudness you trying to achieve, being an artist, it allowed me to be not just looking at the screen but looking at the whole thing of arrangement, you know, colour, texture and layout. What you call a studio today was a pre-production room with an S900 and, you know, an Akai and a computer screen. It was, you know, it was creative. It was going vertically in black and white. And being dyslexic, it wasn't my thing. I fucking couldn't get my head around it. So I was always over the shoulder of some guy going, I want to do this. I want to get this tune. I want to get this tune to do this. I want to 32 bars in, and I want it to break down into this tune. Here's a sample, right? And I provide all of these sound bites. It has always been a relationship for me where it's always separate. You're the engineer, you turn the knobs, and this is what I want to do. And I'll bring the levels up and listen to things. I just had a good ear for placing stuff, and the key was always arrangement. It was always about putting this picture together in my head. I've got this tune, I want it to come in, and I want these beats to just hit you, and then it moves on, and it kind of switches up. And if you listen to Chris Biscuit now, it's like a Stars on 45 compilation of breakbeat, what you can do with it. It's a bit like watching a breakbeat battle, a breakdance battle, where you're going in and just doing all of these moves. It just sounded really well. The arrangement for me, going back to that, is key. It's no different than the canvas. It was always about putting down the beige line first on an outline with graffiti, and then laying in the colours, and then doing your black and cutting back and doing your background and putting it all together as one picture, a transfer to the wall. That's just what it's about, putting it together and laying it down. But I think if I wasn't a painter, if I wasn't an artist, I wouldn't have been able to have as many layers as my music's had. There's no way, to be honest. It wouldn't be the same at all. A clip got sent to me, and it was 2 weeks ago, and it was from the Mobo Awards 20 years ago, and it was a clip, and I said, do you remember this? I had hair, and I had a really dapper suit, and it was Best Album Award and Best Jungle Act. And I was up against George Michael, Eternal, and Return of the Mac.
And the winner is, for the best album, Goldie.
Go figure that out, guys, before you even come with whatever, where you've been and what you've done. And for me, it was a moment of kind of like, fucking hell, man. How alienated the music was then. But in the fact of how the kind of vision and the arrangement of Timeless was a fucking wolf in sheep's clothing. Because we made Timeless first before we made Inner City Life, because we had to extract Inner City Life from there, because I wanted to go, right, I'm going to make a record, it's going to be 22 minutes long, and I'm going to fuck with your head, and you are going to accept this fucking music. I'm going to shove it down your fucking throat. Drum and bass music, because it does have arrangements, it does have great song, it does have, you know, but it's not in your necessarily the structure that you're used to. Times are a-changing, my friends. And it was very important for me, because I really was fucking really aggressive. I was really, really aggressive those days, both on and off the pitch. But with the music, I had a real passion that was fierce, man. I'd beat you down. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't respect the music. And it was, now I think about it, it was stupid, because the two things I've always had to deal with is abandonment, spent all my life in care, and being misunderstood. It shows fucking graffiti and drum and bass music, to kind of work my way back up.
Yeah, well, boy, I really don't know what to say. I'm a bit stoked, man. I've always been into making albums, and that's what I want to do in the future, you know. And especially, I want to say a special thanks to Jazzy B, who supported British music and took it around the world. And I think that's something to be proud of, to come back to England and be supportive of the music. So thanks a lot, and God bless. Peace.
20 years later, you've got these new kids that don't know who I am or don't know who Shy is, and they've actually grown up on this electronic music. When we kicked the fucking door in. I remember getting dragged out of Kiss FM for giving Lindsay Wesker Angel and demanding that he played it, and he wouldn't fucking play it on the radio. And I got dragged out by security. I'm gonna fucking do you track. It's gonna be there one day. Lo and behold, listen to Angel now. It's like a pop record of popular culture, should I say? A popular kind of sound. It's a little bit like, I think that drum and bass music is, for me, it's had the effect on world music and electronic music, what graffiti had to the art world. But we wanted to revolt. Fuck off. It's us, it's about us and the music. It was about this feeling of this sound that made us, for a better want of the word, feel happy. Yeah, look at it now. So as much as I might moan about it, or rant about it, I've done what I said on the tin. I want to change things. I want to make this music, along with my band of brothers, change every angle you could possibly think about what this music is. Why do I take it so seriously? Because it's the only thing that I fucking know. I grew up on it. And I love it that much. And I believe that when you're young, and these new kids that are coming up, namely you, experiment. Go and get ABBA. Go and do whatever you want. Make it a laugh. I did Phil Collins and the Amen Break. Go figure that. I'm young. I'm experimenting. But when you've already gone through what you've gone through, you kind of owe it to the music, because you put food on your table at a very early stage and continue to do so. And I feel that it's really important for the music, because you have to educate. I got educated by Ryder and Randall. I got educated by Fabio. I got educated on the dance floor. We kind of created the beast, right? We created the monster. You just got to learn how to walk it. As David Bowie said to me one time, reinvention is the greatest gift you've ever been given, my son. Do more. Okay, so welcome to Mr. Anderson Studios. Ooh, Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, Mr. Anderson.
This is Mr. Heist, Jim, who actually is probably one of the greatest engineers strong producers in the world, believe it or not. And we've been worked together now, how long?
9 years.
Is it really fucking
It's 9 years, we're in our 9th year.
The only one that's not called Mark is Jim. I feel like Jim Mark 7, like, you know.
My middle name's Mark.
It's not, it's Jim.
Yeah.
But I think that because I've always had this world of outboard, I've always had this world of, you know, art, I've always had this world of working over the shoulder of engineers, and it took me a very long time after Playford, to be fair, to get someone that I could really kind of go through stuff and really start to build together. And I think Jim's the longest working relationship in terms of that.
So, I'm just going to take you through what's in here basically. So we're using a Pentium dual quad-core PC, 2 hard disks, and we've got the machine here, plus another hard disk with metalhead samples on and stuff. We've got that machine here which is a little bit broken, but it does still work. We just use that to quickly listen to the various stats, as you can see, sometimes for sampling and stuff. You've got the Oasis multi-mix, which is basically taking all of this stuff and putting it into, you know, we can adjust volumes here and panning and stuff. You've got the vintage keys, excellent old EMU sounds, you know, analog keyboards and stuff. The Oberon, which I don't really know what that is, but again, more kind of key sounds and pads and things. The brilliant Roland JV2080, which I wish I had. I've got a 1080. It's a digital synth, but full of stuff, really good, absolutely everything from effects to pads to piano sounds and real orchestral sounds. And the Kerr as well, really good for road sounds, again piano sounds. You've got everything you could want there, you know, in the old hardware. And then as we go down here, we've got the TC Electronic Fireworks, which is, you know, just a multitude of effects really. You can use it as a vocoder. It's got filters on it, it's got a delay, it's got chorus, it's got all sorts of things. And it's a very similar, this is a digital reverb by Lexicon, which you can get a software version of that now, which isn't as good, but some people will like to use it because they haven't got the hardware or it's too expensive. We've got the Ultra Harmonizer, the Eventide, absolutely amazing piece of kit. All of that's running into this desk, which is the DB. Can't remember the actual name of it exactly, but it's a Mackie desk, you know. Over here we've got our mic preamps, really cool mic preamp. We put all of our vocals through this, and it's got a compressor built into it. Yeah man, you can't just run straight into a desk cold. You need to have some sort of preamp, and you know, you've got Avalons and all sorts of different people make stuff, but we just like that one, so we use that. Keyboards over here, a nicely graffitied up SJP8000, which is really used just as a MIDI controller, and this one, you know, we don't actually really use that much anymore. It's the Trinity, called Trinity, but it's an awesome keyboard. Moving on over here, we've got the vocal booth, which is where everybody gets shouted at and told what to do. It's all, you know, soundproofed. And over here we've got the classic Neumann microphone, very expensive but awesome, you know, industry standard. If you haven't got one of those, then you're not really a player as far as I'm concerned. I think Goldie would agree. But yeah, pretty much that. I mean, you've got Goldie's various photos from all sorts of time periods. I'm in there somewhere, I'm not going to bother to show you where. Oh, and the classic Dyne Audio speakers, which I personally think are some of the best monitoring speakers you can get, but everyone's different. And so yeah, and I think that's everything.
Now on single Petal Of A Rose, for example, I've always been very old school. You've got a song sheet, it's the lyrics for single petal. So I'd wake up one night at 3 o'clock in the morning, come downstairs and write on this board, which I'd do. And then I'd come back with that, and then I'd phone Jim up and say, I've got this really great idea, Jim. I'd go out and get this great idea and write this thing, and then I'd come back with Jim and say, Jim, I've got this great idea for this tune. And he'd go, okay, I'm right there, boss, I'm gonna steer the ship. And then I'd come through and I'd draw diagrams of where the sections are and where it's going to be and where the drop is and where it all happens, and all of the dats that I've gone through and taking things. And I've got here, I think, the Duke, Breathing, Deep Company, guitar streaks, pitch vox, strickening, reverb, and basically just have all these little ideas that I'd write down, and then I'd just kind of bring them down, which makes probably no sense to anybody apart from me and Jim. But it's a language that we understand, like a legend. We understand the movement here coming through. The track opens up here.
It's a very at the time thing, isn't it? Like, it's a language that you understand at the time because Goldie's talking me through it. If I look at it now, I'm like, looks like a load of squares and squiggles. But at the time, it works for us, you know. And that's what it's about.
So what I tend to do is to draw things out, and I'd say to Jim, you know, here's a track. We've got the track here. So we've got a fresh box here, Jim. We've got the intro here. I want to get some really kind of minimal kind of abstract, so that kind of simplifies abstract minimal. I block it there, so he's going to say, well, it's 60 and 32, it's going to be 32. And then I want to open up with that abstract here, and I want to kind of use that, but I want to reverb that coming out. I want to close the reverb sharp here, run into the beats of the track here, and then I want to do some trickery here and move this in here, carry on the same thing, but layer this with effects. And then I drop my vocal line on here with some ad-lib, same again there in the reverse, and then here we get into the drop, and then we come back down, come back out of it here, come back out and bring it down, and here we get a minimal section, and then we're out. So we just draw the track, because that's how classical music is. What I know is how you work that out. We'll just play some of the sounds from Single Petal, which is, what do you want to start with? Plankton.
Start with the Plankton, yeah.
So Plankton,
which is this sound. Which is kind of the whole. You heard this and it was like, I'm off.
Yeah.
It was like.
Jim played the keys. He's got the keys. He's gone holding it there, and he's just changed it up. And within itself, it bends and it moves, and like, beautiful. So Born is the homage to D-Bridge. So there we've got that sound, and I think that for me sums him up as a sound. A lot of the time, I think what I like is that kind of almost dysfunctional way of in chaos putting it together. Like, we'll take sounds and we'll take something there and export it, and because I come from the sample generation, I've got no qualms in taking shit and putting it back through and losing a bit of that stuff there. So we're going to run through some of the sounds of Single Petal. Well, Scotty, obviously for me, Swarm, by far one of the greatest things on the box set. And I'd always heard loops of Scotty, of Swarm, and when someone takes from Swarm, it's Swarm, obviously. But having this kind of really eclectic way of dealing with it was this kind of loop, which is this. So it's tripping over itself. It's not quite Swarm. It's on the off.
It's been sort of like cut away, and then to that we added various other little bits.
That opening the roll.
So then you're kind of reinventing Swarm with the extra pieces you're adding.
Next piece.
Next like an old. We added an old shuffle break.
Soloed it, which was
this one.
You're in 31 seconds land now, baby.
We use this tube plug-in to just, you take it away, it's almost like some essence has gone. So even though it was quite a good sample, just adding that, you can see it lighting up when the snare comes in. It's almost like it's just given it an extra little bit of saturation to put it into the mix where we wanted it, basically. Yeah. We also used a little D-Bridge. Thank you, D-Bridge.
Thank you, D-Bridge.
For the Arc World break, which is this one.
Great break.
And again, like once you actually get that into the, can't really hear it, but it adds an extra flavour, doesn't it?
Kind of the b-boy side of it.
And that's got quite a bit of processing on it. It's got reverb. If I take the reverb off, you can hear straight away.
Dead. Big reverb on it.
For some people that might be a bit much, but we just liked it like that. Moving on, we used one of Goldie's original sounds from his DAT collecting times, which we talk about that.
Originally coined by Total Science,
Quiffy and Smithy.
And thing about D&B, the OGs, we kind of look at that. We look at all these sounds that really do that, and we're just taking them and just trying to turn them around.
And again, even with that, we've added
a lot to that,
some Voxengo tube amp, which if you listen to it without, it's cool, but if you add it, it gives you a richness.
Well, feltiness at the end of it.
So that.
Of course, for the Reese as well, which was a thing for me. We've, I think Reese is a thing. If you're going to approach Reese in any way, for D&B is concerned, there's always the kind of right way and the wrong way with it. It's a really black and white area of Reese. Getting a real rounded. The art of Reese is, because it's an aggressive kind of sound, it was always used from from Ray Keefe's era, if you like, as just being really straight up terrorist fucking Reese. Whereas trying to soften it slightly and trying to make it more of a melancholy, taming it a lot, really. I mean, we brought that down a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you listen here on the again, we took that from Logic.
Yeah.
That's
open. Taking essentially the Reese. And Jim knows how I like movement. It's like just taking movement and closing it down. Here comes the sax at the end of it. Carries it slightly, opens up, and then sucks in.
Single petal of a rose. I don't suppose you know.
Underneath the background. Stop a second. From 193, what you're going to hear is the thing which we've got this movement going on, but underneath you've got this stability. So don't listen to the vocal and don't listen to the Reese for a second. Press it from from there, Jim.
Single petal of a rose. I don't suppose
That's the sound.
you know how much
That's the sound, not the vocal, not the Reese.
you mean to
It's the
me.
juxtapose. And then you close the loop.
You mean to me.
So we really carve. If you look at the way that Jim, go up it, Jim. If you look at the way that Jim, go up a second here on the arrangement window. Yeah, just look at all of the amount of carving that we do within the sound. And also, when it gets really bad, we just pull out this John B badge, which reminds us of who we are.
You got this loop at the beginning, which we've got to give a big up to Nookie for, I think.
Yes. That. Which actually, D-Bridge knows where he got it from.
Does he?
Yeah.
Really?
Shh. Yes.
Okay. Yes, I mean,
And it's just a great way of sampling a great loop. And to be fair, there's that idea of it. And can you just solo the Duke Ellington?
Yeah.
Thanks very much. The last time I was here, I had the honor of being presented to Her Majesty. I was so thrilled by the beauty, the wonder, the majesty, the splendor of it all that I told Her Majesty that I was sure something musical would come of it. She very, very graciously said she'd be listening. We'd like to play a tune from the suite now. It's called Single Petal.
Now, you might think it's just a sample for tune. However, there has to be form and function with what we're doing. Now, I've gone to the Barbican and listened to Wynton Marsalis play his big brass band, and he played and got Joe Staveley to stand up on an oboe and play Single Petal of a Rose, which I'd never heard before, and play it, and it blew me away. I phoned Jim and told him about this tune. I collected every single version of Single Petal of a Rose, which is a completely different tune altogether. The tune itself, when I found out through Cleveland Watkins, who's part of Blue Note, host, whatever else, Cleveland says, "Yo, G, man, that's the Duke, mate." What do you mean the Duke? He says, Duke Ellington did the original. So I found the original, and I happened to find this version.
We'd like to play a tune from the suite now. It's called Single Petal of a Rose.
At the time I was painting the Queen portrait. I was painting a Queen portrait, so it was very apt that I was painting this piece on the Queen, and the inspiration from the Single Petal of a Rose was to have this piece when in 1954 he came here, met the Queen in Leeds, went back, made 6 suites, came back, he gave her a dub plate called Single Petal of a Rose, which is in Buckingham Palace in the vaults. So when I'm doing Goldie's band, performing with the band in the palace, I'm smiling to myself thinking somewhere underneath this is an acetate, a dub plate, I'll have you know, of a tune called Single Petal Of A Rose. So, fast forward, I said to Jim, I've got a great idea. As a homage to my wife and my kid being the single petal and the rose being the wife and the structure, an inspiration to an homage to Duke Ellington, I then wrote the song and then got Jay Jones from Damage to then come and sing the song. So that's a different way of how music sometimes, how we're pushed to drive to actually make it. So there's a lot behind it. I don't really look at making tunes as just a tune. I look at it as, this is a ring and it weighs an ounce in gold, but there's got to be 3 ounces behind it to put it into the mould. And that's kind of what music sums up for me.
Well, do you want to talk about Jade? Like, should we talk about...
Well, Jade, I mean, it was really weird because if I could sing, I want to sound like him. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people say, that sounds like you. Well, it's not. Me on a really good day, if that. He's a brilliant guy. He's
humble, man.
A very humble guy. And as most things happen in music with me, it's very weird. It's just a quick story. So, my friend Clint Dyer, who runs the Young Vic, phones up and says, I need an actor and someone who can sing and dance. And I'm like, oh, don't look at me. And he went, you know Jay Jones, right? I'm like, yeah, he lives down the road. Near Beaconsfield, he's just down the road. He said, Emma Bunton's Jay. I went, yeah, cool. So I said, I'll call him. I haven't spoken to him for a while, since the games, you know, this whole celebrity thing. And so I'll call him. I said, Jade, my mate he's doing this thing and it's going to open on Friday and he wants to know if you can learn this script and dance. He went, Goldie, don't be silly. I went, okay, I'll tell him no then. He went, yeah. I went, what are you doing now? Are you around? He went, yeah, I'm just down the road from you. I went, do you want to come and what are you doing now? You want to sing a song? He went, today? I went, oh, I don't know. He went, yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll come this afternoon. Give me 45 minutes, put the kettle on. So he comes down, I'll play in the guide vocal, which I won't play because it's embarrassing.
I don't think we got it anymore.
No, this is the way. Me and Jim always laughs when I do backing vocals anyway. So I'd always like to lay vocals down a guide. I've got no inhibitions of that. So we'd lay it down, and Jay came, listened to it, and he went, got it, get it. Put the board in the studio, we go. Only 2 takes, right? Laid it down. And here's Jade's vocal.
What am I supposed to do? Oh baby, I'm so in love with you. You see me through completely. A world to me, a world to me.
So it's just conviction, you know what I mean? A commitment and conviction, and it was really strong. And I think he then took the effects off. Jim, what have you got on there, Jim? What did Jim put on there? Right, effects doubler.
If I take the effects off, just listen to it without.
What am I supposed to do?
It's completely dry.
Oh baby,
still brilliant.
I'm so in love with you. You see me through.
But if we go through quickly what I did, we use SSL comp, just a general.
Completely.
Can you see that? Pretty hard compression for a vocal, but I wanted to just even out the peaks and just make sure it's sat in the mix where, you know, myself and Goldie felt happy that it would sit without loads of bits jumping up.
The only dynamic we had to deal with was the Reese-burying stuff, which it tends to do, and especially the Doc Scott not cutting through and being in the same range frequency of the vocal.
We added a Doppler to Jade to give him
a world to me, a world to me. What am I supposed to do? Oh baby.
That's kind of very much me. That's very much Goldie's signature, where I pitched. I would even from Dark Rider, from the very first tune, would pitch his thing down slightly there, and I just faded on the back of the vocal, just have a slightly dark aspect to it.
And then we also added a plate, a vocal plate reverb, which sounds like this.
What am I supposed to do?
So when you stop, you can hear the tail of just
oh baby,
almost like a natural reverb.
So can you play the whole phrase so you hear the darker vocal?
What am I supposed to me? What am I supposed to do? Oh baby.
And then the final thing we put on there was just some delay with a free delay that you can download on the internet. Unfortunately, it's not available for Mac users, which is very annoying because I can't get it, but it makes it sound like this.
I'm in love with you. You see me through completely.
You can hear it just add that if you're going to use plugins, everybody please try and keep your gauge staging at a point where you're not distorting the plugins. Like, don't have things going in the red. As you can see when I'm doing this, all the plugins have got plenty of headroom.
Completely.
It's very important for plugins to work properly. They need to have the appropriate headroom, otherwise you're going to be scratching your head going, oh well, it doesn't sound that good. But if this is in the red, then that's probably why it doesn't sound that good. It does work. Sometimes it can have a counter effect and give you a good effect, but in my experience,
I think for me as well, from learning the way I've learned, it's always about just placement. It's not about getting everything loud, which is I was kind of pretty disappointing in the mix myself, to be fair, but I think when you put it in the right hands and you balance it all properly, it's pretty good. But I was never really one for just being loud. I was one for just kind of being placement and laying it as sound. That I'll just place it and we take it all down, and then me and Jim will just take it all down in the mix. We'll take it all down and we'll just go through it again, and we'll just bring it all up slowly.
Yeah, we listen to everything soloed.
So many times.
You know, just to see, we listen to it soloed and then see in the mix if you can actually hear it. If you can't, why can't you? Is it not got the right effect on it? Is it not in the right space? And it's important to listen to things out of the mix, but it's very important to listen to things in the mix.
I mean, I don't think there's not much more I can kind of tell you apart from
Ripped it apart.
I use the process of sound and saying, right, let's lay this all out. But to be fair, I have to arrange it first there and say, right, this is what's going to happen. It's going to go off a little bit. It's like taking 20 cans outside a wall. I've got my outline, but I haven't filled it in yet. But when I get there, that's just going to happen.
A world to me, a world to me. What am I supposed to do? Oh baby, I'm so in love with you. You see me through completely. Oh, a world to me, a world to me.
I want to say thank you for your time and listen to an old man rant on about music, how much he loves. But yeah, I mean, enjoy it and take it by the horns, man. Peace. This is Mr. Goldie, SBTV. Yo, in my house! Ah!
Subscribe to SBTV to keep updated on the latest releases and check out more of our videos below.
I don't suppose you know.
Yo, what's going on, people? It's Jamal. If you like that, make sure you click subscribe so you never miss out on a video. It's right there. See it?